All right, let's talk about one of the most famous opening lines in all of literature. It comes from Albert Camus' classic, The Stranger. Today we're doing a deep dive, a character study on its main guy, Meursault. We're going to try and figure out, what's really going on inside his head.
So, there it is. Mother died today. Or maybe yesterday. I don't know. Wow. Right off the bat, we're hit with this incredible detachment. It immediately makes you ask, who is this narrator, Meursault? A guy who doesn't seem to care that his own mom just died? Let's get into it. Okay, so to really understand this guy, we have to start right where the book does, with his mother's death. It's the event that kicks everything off. And, well, his reaction, it's not what you'd expect. At all.
So just look at the contrast here. On the one hand, you've got all the things we expect someone to do when their parent dies, right? Grieve, look for comfort. But then there's Meursault. That doesn't mean anything. It's not my fault. It's like he's an alien observing human customs. He's just totally disconnected from the script we're all supposed to follow.
And it's wild, right? He's not thinking about his mom or his loss. He's way more worried about borrowing a black tie for the funeral and just how uncomfortable the bus ride is going to be. His focus is completely on the physical, the here and now. So let's follow him to the funeral and see how this gets even more intense.
All right, so now we're at the funeral. And, you'd think this would be the peak of solemnity. For Meursault, though, it's just another thing happening. His behavior at the vigil pretty much defies every single social rule you can think of.
Just look at this list. He won't even look at his mother's body. He's drinking coffee, smoking a cigarette right next to the coffin, and then he falls asleep. Any one of these things would be shocking, but altogether, it shows you these aren't acts of malice. They're just pure physical impulse. He's thirsty, so he drinks. He's tired, so he sleeps. There's zero social filter.
So, during the funeral procession itself, what do you think is going through his head? Memories of his mother? Nah. Not even close. His mind is completely hijacked by the physical world around him.
Yep, he's focused on the sun, the heat, how it feels on his skin. He's not overwhelmed by grief, he's overwhelmed by the weather. For him, these raw physical sensations are just more real than any abstract idea of loss.
And this little moment here is so telling. An undertaker says, the sun's a killer, and Meursault just agrees. Yes. That's it. For him, that statement is just a literal fact. The heat is oppressive, it's a real and present force, maybe even more real than the fact that his mother is gone.
And here's the kicker. When the funeral's finally over, what does he feel? Joy. Pure joy. Not because he's found closure or anything like that. Nope. He's just happy that the bus is back in Algiers and he can go to bed and sleep for 12 hours. He's relieved to be escaping the physical discomfort. That's all the funeral was to him.
Okay, so the funeral is over. You'd think the next day would be, quiet, a day for processing. But this is Meursault we're talking about. For him, it's Saturday. And what happens next? Well, this may be the most telling part of the whole opening.
Just think about this sequence of events, less than 24 hours after he buried his mother. Friday, funeral. Saturday morning, he goes for a swim. Saturday afternoon, he meets up with a woman, Marie. And Saturday night, they go see a comedy. There's absolutely no connection between these events in his mind. He's completely living in the moment, focused only on whatever pleasure is right in front of him.
So, of course, after this date, Marie asks him the question, do you love me? And his answer is, well, it's pure Meursault, just brutally honest.
He literally says he answered that it didn't mean anything, but that I probably didn't. Think about that. He doesn't lie to make her feel better. He doesn't even try. Because to him, a word like love is just an abstract idea. It has no physical reality, so it just doesn't mean anything.
And it's not just love. Take ambition. His boss offers him a huge opportunity, a promotion, a new job in Paris. This is the kind of thing most people dream of, right? A chance to change your life. But Meursault's response? I replied that one never changed his life, that in any case, all lives were of equal value. Wow. That's his whole philosophy right there. Why hope for a different future? Why have ambition? To him, one life is just as good as any other. It's a completely flat existence. So this detachment, this indifference, it's not just something that exists inside his head. It bleeds out into the real world, and we see this big time with his neighbor, a pretty sketchy guy named Raymond Sintes.
So Raymond has this, frankly, disgusting plan for revenge against his mistress. It involves luring her back, humiliating her, and then kicking her out. It's awful, and to get it started, he asks Meursault to write the letter for him. And what's Meursault's reason for agreeing to help with this cruel plan? Get this. I tried my best to please Raymond because I had no reason not to please him. That's it. It's not that he's a bad guy who wants to hurt this woman. It's just a complete lack of any moral compass. It simply doesn't occur to him to say no. It's easier to say yes.
So what are we left with here? A man who feels nothing at his mother's funeral, who thinks love is meaningless, has zero ambition, and helps his neighbor with a revenge plot just because. What do we make of this guy? What exactly is a stranger?
So, is he just different? Or is he actually dangerous? He's definitely not playing by society's rules. He's living by a completely different code. But does that make him a threat?
And when you boil it all down, these are the rules of his world. The physical is real, emotions are not. Society's rules about grief or love, totally arbitrary. All that matters is the present moment. And you always tell the truth, no matter who it makes uncomfortable. See, he's not evil. He's a stranger to the social games and the little lies that we all tell each other to get by.
Which brings us to the biggest question of all, doesn't it? Is a man who refuses to lie about how he feels really a stranger to us? Or does he just hold up a mirror to all the ways we lie to ourselves and each other every single day? It's that uncomfortable thought that Camus leaves us with, and that's what makes this character so unforgettable. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.